Hello, good evening, and today you join me in somewhere a bit different. I'm in the industrial estate that's just around the corner from where I live, and the reason for that is I'm trying out a new bike that I haven't used before, and so I want to stay away from people and traffic and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so bit of a story behind this. So recently I was chatting to my friend Mark. I've mentioned Mark on the channel before. He's my bike mechanic and my bike fitter and my go-to for anything bike related really. And I was chatting to him about my ambitions for triathlon next year, and he suggested that I actually try out a TT bike. Now this is something I was quite apprehensive about doing. I'm not overly confident even on a road bike, and obviously a TT bike is very different to that. So I was a little bit apprehensive, but he said, give my bike a go. Doesn't matter if you come off or anything like that. It's quite an old bike anyway, and he hasn't used it in quite a long time. So I took the bike from him, and that's what we're out here to do today. Give that a bit of a spin. So I've got a nice stretch of road down here, free from pretty much any traffic. It's Sunday evening, or early evening around 5 o'clock. So nowhere around here is going to be open, and yeah, there shouldn't be any traffic to worry about, which is a positive. So a bit about the bike. I don't know a huge amount about it, but it's a Ribble Ultra TT, so a TT bike as opposed to a triathlon bike, so no onboard hydration systems or anything like that. Now it's looking pretty grey out, so I'm going to crack on. I've got my GoPro chest mount, I've got a head mount as well, so I'll try and get some clips. Hopefully I don't fall off. That'd be a bit embarrassing, but yeah, let's give it a go and we'll see how I get on. Right, so I've done 20-25 minutes maybe, just up and back down the industrial estate. And something I meant to say before I jumped on the bike was around some of the kit I'm actually wearing. You can probably tell I'm not wearing a normal cycling jersey, just wearing a normal jumper. I've got an old pair of bib shorts, and I'm actually wearing normal trainers. Even though the bike's got clipless pedals, I'm just wearing normal trainers, just to rule out unclipping as being an issue. And also, if I did come off for whatever reason, I'm not ruining any decent kit. I don't mind if this gets like torn up or anything like that. I also did wear a helmet. I never go out on my bike without a helmet, especially after I got knocked off last year, so always wear a helmet. So in terms of the ride, I guess you could call it, it went okay. I was a little bit apprehensive about going into the extensions to begin with, so I practiced just one at a time with my other hand on the base bar and on the brakes, just in case I needed them. And then as I worked up from there, I started not only having one arm on the extensions for longer, but then moving the other arm over, so both were on the extensions. I was a little bit apprehensive, obviously, because you don't have access to the brakes. And also, this might sound a bit silly, but I found changing gear quite hard. I'm used to having a SRAM ETAP group set on my road bike, and I think I've got used to the luxury of a wireless group set too much. This is the traditional like lever system, and so you have to put a little bit of force in to both change up and down the gears, and trying to do that while concentrating on balancing while you're in the extensions I found to be quite tricky. Not only that, but I found it to be quite awkward holding on to the base bar with my left hand and then trying to change gear with my right hand when I'm not in the extensions. It just feels a bit off. If I had access to change gear whilst on the base bar, that'd be really good, but I know that electronic group sets on TT bikes are not going to be cheap, and if I wanted to get a brand new TT bike with an electronic group set, that's going to be very expensive. So that's definitely something I'm going to have to practice more, changing gear both in the extensions and when I'm out. Something I did wonder that might be a bit easier, so let me know in the comments below if you've got a bike like the Ribble and with the traditional gearing system. Do you rest your forearm on the extensions to change gear, or do you simply stretch your arm out basically and then change it that way? Based on what I've seen today, I think it would probably be better for me to rest my forearm on the extension to change gear, but I don't know whether that's going to be a bit of a faff, especially if I have to change gear quite often. But either way, I did take positives from this. I didn't fall off, which is a bonus, and getting in and out of the extensions did start to feel quite comfortable towards the end. Again, it's going to take practice. I'm very apprehensive about taking the bike out onto the normal roads, especially with some of the drivers that are around at the moment. I'm a bit nervous even on my road bike, and I'm definitely more confident on that than the TT bike. So I'm gonna have to do a lot more practicing out here on the industrial estate first, I think. So if you ride a TT bike, I'm sure you probably do, because they are generally faster, and that's the reason for actually trying one. I want to be better at triathlon next year. I want faster times, and I know that using a dedicated TT bike and getting into that aero position is ultimately what makes the bike leg generally faster. So that's the reason for practicing it. So if you ride a TT bike and you've got any tips for me, either on comfort or changing gear or just general confidence, any bike handling skills you think would be worth me practicing, let me know in the comments below. Be really interested to see those. So it's coming up to tea time. I need to head home, have a shower, and then have some tea. So I'm going to wrap up the video there. Thanks so much for watching this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you have any tips for me riding the TT bike, leave them in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.